Exposed. How my daughter-in-law's shocking scheme for our home transformed our family forever. Sarah stood in her picturesque kitchen, sunlight streaming in through the window, catching the delicate dust that danced in the air. A pot of coffee brewed, the smell wrapping around her like a warm blanket. Yet, beneath the surface of her comfortable morning routine lurked a growing unease. The world around her felt different, heavier, as if the very foundation of her quaint suburban life was beginning to tremble. Her husband, Tom, had been quieter lately, and the car payments loomed larger than the cherry trees her children used to climb. But today it wasn't her worries that hijacked her heart. It was just the ambitious firecracker of a daughter-in-law who had turned family gatherings into brainstorming sessions. Jess had an idea that sent shockwaves through Sarah's soul. "Let's turn the house into a coffee shop," Jess exclaimed, her eyes alight with passion. To Sarah it felt like a grenade tossed into their cozy home. How could she let go of the room where her kids had learned to ride bikes? Memories of frosted birthday cakes and lazy summer afternoons echoed like whispers from the past, drowning out Jess's excited chatter. "Jess, this is our family home," she replied, her voice trembling. "It's where we built our lives together. Turning it into a business feels wrong." Sarah's heart raced, torn by the love she had for her family, and a swell of fear that connected their dreams to the bitter realities of financial strain. As days passed, the tension simmered. Jess remained undeterred, unfurling ideas like petals opening to the sun. Yet, each presentation felt like a dagger thrust into Sarah's heart. How could her family's sanctuary become a commercial space? How could someone so young understand the weight of memories baked into the very walls? Then the news hit like a thunderclap. The local economy wobbled. Stores shuttered and families felt pinched. Jess's dreams flickered uncertainly, mirroring the anxiety creeping into Sarah's mind. Watching her daughter-in-law's enthusiasm dim felt like a dagger to the chest. While Sarah feared for the warmth of their home, she now sensed a budding sympathy for Jess's plight, a mother's instinct to protect what's loved, yet painfully aware of their unfolding reality. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. At the town fair, the air pulsed with excitement but also tension. Sarah and Jess found themselves side by side, a knot of unspoken feelings between them. As townsfolk celebrated, friendly faces turned their gazes toward the booth they manned, a haunting reminder of the choice that lay ahead. Here was a chance, she realized, to finally break the walls that had built up around their relationship. And at that moment, when laughter and joy surged around them, Sarah felt the warmth of her family and community urging her to embrace Jess's vision. But before she could reach out, her phone beeped with a chilling notice from the bank. The weight of their futures felt heavier than ever, and she could sense that the road ahead wouldn't just test their dreams, it would redefine what it meant to support family in a world where the American dream felt out of reach. Sarah's heart raced at the crossroads. Would they stand together, or would invisible chains keep them apart? The fair's energy pulsed around them, joyous laughter mingling with the scent of funnel cakes and popcorn. But for Sarah it felt suffocating. She watched children race by, their laughter reminiscent of her own children, their carefree days slipping further away. The thought of turning her home into a coffee shop unfolded in her mind like a shadowy figure that wouldn't let go. What if this is our chance? Jess nudged her softly. Her voice had the same hopeful edge she used back when she convinced Sarah to try karaoke at the family reunion. Sarah caught a glimmer in Jess's eyes, a spark of determination mingled with vulnerability. It reminded her of when Jess first entered their lives, full of dreams like a canvas yet to be painted. I don't know, Jess," Sarah whispered, her heart beating with uncertainty. She couldn't shake thoughts of the years they'd spent crafting their home. Each corner was alive with memories, echoes of laughter and warmth. Transitioning to business felt like tearing down the heart of what they had built. "Mom!" A familiar voice broke through the heaviness. Daniel, her eldest son, approached, a beaming smile stretched across his face. "You won't believe the prize I just won." He held up a gaudy stuffed bear, its eyes bulging from excitement. For a fleeting moment, the weight lifted off Sarah's spirit, replaced by the simple joy of her son's enthusiasm. "That's amazing, Daniel," she said, her voice brightening. The bear seemed to absorb some of her anxiety, if only for a moment. But in the back of her mind, the thought of Jess's plans loomed larger. As they made small talk about the fair, Sarah sensed Jess watching her, gauging the interplay of emotions. The air between them pulsed with unacknowledged tension. Could they really bridge the gap that increasingly divided their visions for the future? Jess's dream felt foreign. Yet, it pulsed with potential, a different kind of heartbeat. Later that evening, after the fair lights dimmed and tired families retreated home, Sarah lay in bed and stared at the ceiling, the shadows stretching like doubts. What was stopping her from really listening to Jess? It was clear Jess wasn't just dreaming. She wanted to build something bigger than herself, a legacy perhaps, even if it scared Sarah profoundly. Days turned into weeks. Jess's vision only solidified. More detailed pitches rolled in, sprouting from the kitchen table, turning the once quiet family dinners into events filled with ideas and plans. The living room transformed into a brainstorming hub, overflowing with coffee shop themes and business models. Yet the warmth of shared meals felt like a memory drifting away. On a particularly rainy evening, Sarah ventured out into the storm of her thoughts while flipping through childhood photos of Daniel and his sister Lily. Suddenly a new realization struck her: life had always been about change. The first few moments of doubt turned to clarity. But would embracing Jess's vision mean sacrificing her own memories? That night, she found herself at a crossroads. Could she step into this new venture alongside Jess? Or would she retread the familiar path of resistance and fear? The weight on her chest lessened as excitement began to replace anxiety, fueling her thoughts. Maybe they could keep the essence of home alive even within a new venture. As she drifted to sleep, a whisper of possibility filled her heart. What if they could make the coffee shop a place of connection, a blend of memories and fresh beginnings? But as the morning sun broke through the clouds, illuminating the chaotic beauty of the kitchen where so many memories were forged, Sarah couldn't shake the nagging question: was she ready to risk it all for something new? It would take a leap of faith. What she didn't expect was the surprise that awaited her when she broached the subject with Tom, a revelation that could change their family forever. When Sarah finally found the courage to share Jess's coffee shop dream with Tom, her heart raced. They were sitting across from each other at the kitchen table, the morning light streaming through the window like a warm embrace. She could feel the weight of her words pressing against her lips, a mixture of fear and hope swirling in her chest. "Tom, I need to talk to you about something important," she began, her voice barely a whisper. Tom looked up from his cup of coffee, brow furrowed. He set the mug down, the tiny clink echoing in the stillness of the kitchen. "What's going on?" With a shaky breath, Sarah explained Jess's vision. As she spoke, describing the dream of transforming their home into a vibrant coffee shop, she watched Tom's expression shift from curiosity to concern. "It's a big step, Sarah," he said, his tone cautious. "Are you sure this is what you want?" "That's the thing, I'm not sure," she admitted, a lump forming in her throat. "But Jess believes in it. She sees something in this idea, a way to bring people together. I can't help but wonder if it could really work." Tom leaned back in his chair, deep in thought. Silence filled the room as they weighed the possibilities. "And what about our home?" he finally asked, gesturing towards the well-loved kitchen, their fortress of memories. "Are we ready to turn it into a business?" Her stomach twisted. "I fear losing what we have, but maybe we could create something new. A place for families, for our community. A way to keep the spirit of home alive." Tom tipped his head, studying her. She could see the gears turning in his mind, his protective instincts kicking in. "You know, your mom always wanted a place like that," he said softly, recalling the laughter-filled gatherings of years past. She loved how everyone would come together. A warmth spread through her at the memories. Her mother-in-law had been the heart of their family. All those Sunday dinners and birthday parties, they had forged a bond as strong as any brick. "What if we built something that honors her memory?" she suggested, feeling an unexpected surge of inspiration. "A place filled with love and good food, just like she would have wanted." Tom's eyes sparkled with a hint of excitement, but the shadow of uncertainty still loomed. "It sounds beautiful, but a coffee shop is a big risk. What if it fails? What if we never try?" Sarah countered, her voice stronger now. What if this is our chance to do something meaningful? Something that could bring us together again? He sighed, a mixture of admiration and concern etched on his face. I need some time to think about this. It's a huge decision for all of us. As they settled back into their routine, Sarah felt an unfamiliar hope fluttering in her heart. She watched Tom ponder the idea, weighing it like a precious gem, and she knew they were edging closer to a shared dream. A few days later, Jess breezed back into the kitchen, ready to present her ideas with renewed enthusiasm. The light that radiated from her made Sarah smile. She was contagious with passion. Guess what? I found an old friend who's a coffee expert, Jess declared, her eyes twinkling. She wants to partner with us. Felt like fate. Sarah's heartbeat quickened at the thought of momentum building. But as they gathered around the table, ready to brainstorm more, a message pinged from her phone. It was an unexpected text from her daughter, Lily. Mom, can we talk? I have something important to tell you. Panic coursed through Sarah. What could that be about? Uncertainty clawed at her as she processed her daughter's tone. Would this be another obstacle or a surprise? With her heart racing at the thought of what was to come, she glanced over at Jess and Tom, who were deeply engrossed in their discussion. She felt a pull in a new direction, one filled with potential but still tinged with anxiety. This journey was becoming more complex than she had imagined. Was she truly ready for the whirlwind that awaited her? As she took a deep breath, she wondered, what could this conversation with Lily change in their lives, and how would it affect Jess's dreams? Sarah stared at her phone, the message from Lily glowing ominously in the dim light of the kitchen. Her gut twisted as she thought back to the times when Lily had come to her with big news, the joy of her first school play, an exciting promotion. But this felt different. Hey, everything okay? Jess asked, noticing Sarah's silence, her lively chatter pausing abruptly. Sarah swallowed hard, trying to shake off the wave of unease. Lily wants to talk. She said it's important. The words hung in the air like a storm cloud, threatening to engulf the moment. Tom looked up, concern furrowing his brow. Should you go? You can give her a quick call. Taking a deep breath, Sarah nodded. Yeah, I should. Just give me a minute. As she stepped into the living room, she felt a rush of adrenaline. She dialed Lily's number, her fingers trembling as they pressed the buttons. 3 rings felt like an eternity. Mom? Lily's voice came through, a slight tremor in it that set off alarm bells in Sarah's mind. Hey, sweetie. What's going on? There was a pause, and Sarah could almost hear Lily's thoughts racing. Finally she spoke, her voice steady but tinged with an edge of vulnerability. Can we meet? It's about something personal. It's important. Of course. Where do you want to meet? Sarah said, already feeling the distance between them stretching. Maybe the park? My favorite place? Lily suggested. It was their usual spot, calm and familiar. Okay, I'll be there soon, Sarah replied, her heart sinking. After hanging up, Sarah returned to the kitchen, where Jess and Tom were deep in discussion about coffee blends and pastry ideas. The atmosphere was a mix of hope and ambition, yet all Sarah could feel was the weight of dread. Everything all right? Tom asked, eyes narrowing. Lily wants to meet. She said it's important. Jess's demeanor shifted immediately. Do you think it's about school? Friends? Boys? Honestly, I just don't know. Sarah shook her head, fighting back the nausea curling in her stomach. Whatever it is, you've got this, Tom said, giving her hand a reassuring squeeze. As Sarah walked over to the park later, each step felt heavier than the last. The trees swayed gently, but her mind was a whirlpool of questions. Was Lily unhappy? Was there something she hadn't noticed, and what could be weighing on her? When she finally reached the park, Lily was already sitting on their favorite bench, her eyes scanning the ground. Seeing her daughter's tense body language made every nerve in Sarah's body spark with worry. Hey. Sarah approached cautiously, taking a seat beside her. Lily looked up, her eyes reflecting a cocktail of emotions: fear, anxiety, and perhaps something else, something deeper. Thanks for coming, Mom, she murmured, slowly pulling a small envelope from her pocket. What is this? Panic rose in Sarah's throat. Just open it. As she took the envelope, her fingers shook. Inside, she found a letter that looked familiar, yet devastatingly different. Written on school stationery, it was a packet for an art scholarship application. Except it wasn't her name there but Lily's. Lily, you're applying for this? Sarah's voice wavered, mixing pride with confusion. But why didn't you tell me? I didn't know if I could. It's hard for me, Mom. Lily's voice cracked. And suddenly the weight of the world seemed to cascade down onto their little park bench. What do you mean? Sarah felt her heart clench. You're so talented. You should go for it. I'm scared, okay? I don't want to let you down if I don't get it. Or worse, what if I do and I leave? As realization washed over her, Sarah understood that this was bigger than just a scholarship. It was Lily's way of seeking freedom and living out her dreams. Lily, Sarah said gently, the only thing that would let me down is you not pursuing your passion. But as Sarah watched her daughter's guarded expression melt, another whirl of doubt entered her mind. How would they manage everything, including Jess's coffee shop dream, if Lily was off chasing hers? The future seemed uncertain, a delicate balance on the edge of a knife. So many dreams were woven together. But would they all survive? Taking her daughter's hands in hers, she felt a wave of determination. Whatever happens, we'll figure it out together. But as Lily's eyes glimmered with hope, Sarah's heart sank under the weight of the new reality. Was pursuing dreams together even possible? Each moment brought her closer to a decision, but the question lingered. Was Sarah really ready for the changes that lay ahead? Lily's fingers intertwined with her mother's, and for a moment, the world around them faded. It was just the two of them, caught between the shifting sands of dreams and fears. Sarah felt a flicker of hope, battling against her own doubts. Was this the moment she'd prepared for her whole life? Mom. Lily broke the silence, her voice strong but soft. What if I really want to take this chance? But what if I can't manage it all? What if I fail? The raw vulnerability in her daughter's words cut through Sarah's heart. She'd spent years nurturing Lily's talent without realizing how deeply the weight of expectation had settled on her shoulders. Sweetheart, failure is just part of the journey. Every great artist has faced it, Sarah reassured her. What matters is that you try. Lily looked at her mother as if searching for the truth in her eyes. But what if I have to leave home for this? You and Dad, what will you do? Sarah's heart ached at the thought. Would she really lose her daughter to her dreams? Could she find the strength to support her? I want you to chase what makes you happy, even if it means facing hard choices. We can adapt, we've always found a way. Just then a dog barked nearby, pulling their focus briefly. A child giggled, darting past them, joy painted all over his face, while a woman called after him, her voice laced with love. Watching that moment sparked something inside Sarah. She wanted that same joy for Lily, even if it looked different than she imagined. What if I get the scholarship and everything changes? Will it still be safe? Will it feel the same? Lily asked, uncertainty still clouding her eyes. Sarah squeezed her hand tighter, remembering her own uncertainties when she stepped into adulthood. Life is about growth, honey. And sometimes it feels scary. But think of how much stronger you'll be, how much more you'll learn. Safety is not what defines home. Love does. Lily's brow furrowed as she absorbed her mother's words. And you really believe that? Absolutely. You need to set your sights high, sweetheart. I believe in you. Just promise me you won't shy away from this opportunity just because it feels big. Tears glossed Lily's eyes, a mixture of relief and fear. Okay. I'll think about it. In that moment, the sky bloomed with sunset colors, a beautiful reminder of all that was possible. They sat there, hand in hand, the sun casting long shadows, and Sarah felt a sense of calm replacing the anxiety that had previously consumed her. But just as Lily seemed to find solace, Sarah's phone buzzed again. A text message appeared, chilling her warm heart. It was from Jess. Need to talk about the shop. Urgent. Oh no, Sarah's heart raced, uncertainty flashing before her. What is it? Lily asked, her expression changing from relief to concern. Jess, she sounds worried. I need to check on her, Sarah said, the weight of responsibility pulling her away from their precious moment. Mom, wait. Lily stood, her voice tight with worry. What do you think it is? What if something's wrong? I don't know. Panic echoed in Sarah's mind. Jess had always been the rock to their dreams, but what if her shop idea was unraveling? As they made their way back to the car, a heaviness settled over Sarah. How was she going to juggle this moment with Lily and another crisis with Jess? Would they all be able to support each other through everything shifting around them? With each step back toward the car, Sarah felt uncertainty growing. Little did they know that this evening would mark the onset of a series of challenges that could threaten to pull them apart instead of weaving them closer together. Would their bond survive the storm of dreams and fears looming just ahead? As they approached the car, the moment of connection slipped away like sand through their fingers. Lily's worried eyes spoke volumes, and Sarah couldn't help but feel guilty for letting work intrude on their precious time. The sight of her daughter's uncertainty gnawed at her, but the growing anxiety about Jess had clouded her mind. "Let us hurry," Sarah said, her heart in her throat as she fumbled for her keys. She opened the car door and slid into the driver's seat, her mind racing ahead. "I'm sure it's just something minor. Jess probably just needs a little advice." "I hope so." Lily's voice barely broke the silence, heavy with concern. "What if she's in over her head?" "I'll figure it out." Sarah took a deep breath, steadying herself. As they pulled out onto the road, the world outside rushed past, but her thoughts remained on the conversation left unfinished at the park. There had been something uplifting in their exchange, a moment that felt real and promising. Now the feeling was overshadowed by the fear of losing control. When they arrived at Jess's shop, the window displays looked unusually dim. The cheerful colors and inviting decorations didn't hold the same charm they usually did. Sarah's pulse quickened. Something was off. "Stay close, okay?" she told Lily, uncertain if it was worry or instinct driving her protective nature. Stepping into the shop, a soft bell chimed overhead, but the usual chatter and laughter were replaced by a tense silence. Sarah spotted Jess behind the counter, her brow furrowed, a look of distress heavy on her face. "Sarah," Jess rushed forward, a hint of desperation in her voice. "Thank you for coming so fast. I'm really worried. We have a problem." "What happened?" Sarah felt her stomach drop. "It's the lease." Jess paused, glancing nervously toward the back of the shop. "The landlord is selling the building. He gave us a month to vacate. We're being forced out." Sarah's heart sank. "What? But this is your dream. We put so much work into this place." "I know." Jess choked on her words, frustration and fear rippling through her. "But unless we find a new space or some way to negotiate, it's all going to collapse." "I'm devastated." Lily stepped closer, sensing the gravity of the situation. "What can we do to help?" Jess met her gaze, gratitude flickering through her distress. "I need to figure out where to go next, and I could really use support. Can you both brainstorm with me? We still have a chance, but not if we don't act fast." As they huddled together in the middle of the shop, Sarah felt the weight of Jess's crisis merging with her own fears about Lily. The dichotomy sank deep. Here was one person striving to find her way, while she was faced with the uncertainty of letting go. Would she lose her shop and her connection with Jess? Would Lily's dreams push them all toward an abyss? "Mom, maybe I can help find a new place," Lily proposed, her eyes lighting up with determination. "We can research options together." "Lily, you don't have to take this on," Sarah replied, an edge of worry creeping into her voice. But Lily interrupted, her tone fierce with resolve. "I want to help. This is family, right? We can't let dreams fade away." In that instant, all the swirling uncertainty turned into a powerful surge of solidarity. But as Jess began to lay out their next steps, Sarah felt another pang of anxiety. What if all of this forged a path leading away from her, from the bond she had so desperately sought to maintain with Lily? Suddenly, everything felt unbearably fragile, like glass ready to shatter. As they strategized and planned, the clock ticked mercilessly, each passing moment amplifying the challenges ahead. What could they lose? What might they gain? And at what cost to their family? Would this be the moment that changed everything for better or worse? Jess scribbled down a list of possible new locations while Lily typed away on her phone, searching for available shops. The shop, usually buzzing with laughter and cheer, now felt like a battlefield where dreams hung in the balance. Sarah stood between them, grasping the enormity of what was at stake. She had always felt competent, but today was different. "Let us try looking a bit outside the downtown area," Jess said, biting her lip. "Maybe somewhere that's still visible but less expensive?" Lily nodded, her enthusiasm unwavering. "I can drive around and look for rent signs. I know a few neighborhoods that might work." Good idea, Jess exclaimed, her eyes brightening ever so slightly. We just need to act quickly. Mom, you can come with me. We can cover more ground, Lily suggested, her voice infused with energy. The decision to split up felt both practical and tense. Sarah would have preferred to stay with Jess, offer her the solace of a familiar presence. But she also knew Lily needed this. It would mean something to her, giving her a purposeful role. All right, let us do it, Sarah replied, forcing a smile despite the storm of uncertainty churning in her stomach. As they left the shop, Sarah felt the weight of Jess's fear mix with her own fraught thoughts about Lily. Something deep within her resisted the idea of change. What if we find a place but it's not good enough, or worse, what if we don't find one at all? She murmured under her breath. What's wrong? Lily asked, glancing at her mother. Nothing, Sarah replied, trying to shake off the dread. But as they drove through the city, help-wanted signs flashed past their windows, competing for their attention. Each sign seemed to mock the possibility that Jess might have to uproot everything she had built. They pulled over in a vibrant neighborhood where old buildings crumbled beside trendy cafes and artist studios. Sarah felt a small spark of hope. This could be good. Maybe together they could take a new step forward. Lily hopped out of the car, scanning the block. Sarah stepped out too, brushing her fingers across the cool surface of a nearby brick wall. Just remember, whatever happens, we're in this together, she encouraged Lily, though her own voice wavered. I know, Mom, Lily replied, determination etched on her face. We'll figure this out. Hours slipped by as they drove from one potential location to the next, calling landlords and taking notes. With every passing shop, Sarah sensed Lily's confidence grow. But she couldn't shake the worry gnawing at her insides. Was this decision the right one? Finally, as the sun dipped low, casting golden light over the town, they pulled up to one last potential storefront. It felt different, inviting, almost welcoming. Lily rushed out to examine it while Sarah lingered back, lost in thought. Mom, come look, Lily called, her voice ringing with excitement. Approaching, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. Could this truly be the answer? But just as she was about to step through the threshold, her phone buzzed. A message from Jess flashed across the screen. I just got a call, things may be worse than we thought. We need to talk. Panic struck as the implications of that message sunk in. They had spent all day searching. But what if all their hopes were about to be dashed? Lily, wait. She turned back, heart racing. We need to head back to the shop now. Lily's face fell as she stared at her mother. But what if this is the one, Mom? What if it's not? We need to focus on Jess. Right now she's our priority, Sarah said, her voice trembling. As they hurried back to the car, uncertainty settled heavily between them. What lay ahead was shrouded in fear. And as Sarah drove back, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the brink of something life-changing, for better or worse. The question lingered. Would saving Jess bring them closer together? Or would it mean facing a reality they weren't prepared for? The car ride back to the shop was silent, the truth of what had been said hanging thick in the air. Sarah's fingers gripped the steering wheel, her knuckles white as she navigated familiar streets now shrouded in uncertainty. Lily stared out the window, watching the world blur by busy sidewalks and glowing storefronts fading into a backdrop of swirling chaos inside her mind. At the shop, Jess was waiting, her shoulders slumped. The vibrant atmosphere they had once shared felt muted, as if the very walls were constricting. Sarah parked, and the moment they stepped inside, Jess's eyes darted between them. What happened? She asked, anxiety bubbling in her tone. We were just looking at a place, but... Sarah's voice trailed off, unable to finish. But we got a text from you first, Lily chimed in, trying to keep the mood light but failing. What did they say? Is everything okay? Jess took a deep breath, her expression darkening. I heard back from the landlord. He's considering raising the rent, and if that's the case, we won't be able to stay here much longer. What? Lily's jaw dropped. After everything we've been through? Lily, I know this is hard, Jess replied, her voice soft but firm. But we need to face it. We should start brainstorming on how to come up with a plan. Sarah felt tears prick at her eyes. It wasn't just the threat of losing their shop. It was the fear of falling apart as a family. She knew Jess had put her heart into every corner of this place. What if we don't find a solution? Her voice trembled. What if we lose this place and stop? Jess interrupted, shaking her head. The fire in her eyes flickered back to life. We can't think like that. We've been through too much to let fear win. We still have options and we'll find them. I can help, Lily chimed in, her earlier enthusiasm returning. We can create a fundraiser or hit social media. Maybe see if there are local businesses that would partner with us. Exactly. Jess nodded. We need to rally the community. They love this shop just as much as we do. If we can get everyone involved, maybe we can change the landlord's mind about raising the rent. Sarah felt the warmth of hope creeping back into her heart. This was their home and they were a family. All right, she said, her voice steadier. Let us gather everyone we can. Jess, you can contact the regulars. Lily, do you think you could set up a social media campaign? Yes. I'll make a plan right now, Lily said, her face lighting up. As they began strategizing, Sarah felt a weight lift, if only slightly. They had been united by this struggle. And perhaps this challenge could forge them even closer. The daunting mountain ahead of them didn't feel as insurmountable now. But then, as the energy in the room shifted, Sarah's phone buzzed again. Another message, this one from an unknown number. Nice try. You think you can save your little shop? The truth will come out soon enough. Just wait. The room went cold, freezing the hopeful energy they had started to build. Sarah's heart raced, and she exchanged worried glances with Jess and Lily. What did this mean? Who was behind it? What just happened? Jess asked, her voice tense. I don't know. Sarah felt her body tense. But it sounds like someone knows more than we do. And as the truth settled in the air between them, Sarah understood now that this was only the beginning. What lay ahead was a path laced with even more fear, but also with the chance for redemption. As she looked at Jess and Lily, she realized they needed to prepare for whatever was to come. What if the battle wasn't just for the shop but for everything they held dear? The buzzing of Sarah's phone felt like a bomb ticking in the silence. Each vibration against the wooden counter sent ripples of dread through her. That message, it felt too ominous, too personal. What truth were they hiding? Who was out to tear them down? Jess leaned in closer, her brows furrowed in concern. We need to find out who sent that. If they know something we don't, it could put all of us in danger. Lily, fueled by a mixture of curiosity and courage, grabbed Sarah's phone. Let us see if we can trace the number. Maybe it's someone we recognize, or someone who's connected to the landlord. Her voice cracked slightly, a hint of fear betraying her determination. Good idea, Sarah replied, trying to channel the encouragement she felt from Jess moments before. But the shadows of doubt were creeping back and threatening to cloud the optimism they had just built. As Lily tapped away on Sarah's phone, Jess took a moment to survey the shop, her heart aching with every nostalgic thought. Each shelf, each piece of merchandise told a story of laughter, love, and resilience. Could they really lose it all? Let us not let this distract us too much, Sarah said, taking a steadying breath. We need to focus on our plan. The fundraiser, remember? Lily nodded, though her eyes remained glued to the screen. Almost there, she exclaimed suddenly, breaking the tension. The adrenaline in the room shifted, as if they were about to uncover a vital clue. Got it. The number. It's from the old neighborhood. Wait, there's more. Lily squinted, lips pressed tight. It looks like it belongs to someone who used to own a flower shop near here. What would they want with us? Jess asked, her tone now shaky. Why the cryptic message? And what truth? The more they speculated, the more the urgency grew. Sarah tapped her fingers nervously against the counter. Let us figure it out later. Right now, we need to think about how to engage the community. If we can rally their support, we can fight back against whatever's coming. A new buzz from the phone drew their attention again. It was another text, this time from the same unknown number. Trust me. You can't save what's already lost. Fear sliced through the air, palpable and chilling. Jess crossed her arms as if trying to shield herself from the truth that loomed closer with each message. Okay, this isn't just about rent anymore, she said firmly, her voice trembling slightly. This is personal. Whoever this is wants to see us fail. This is beyond just holding a fundraiser, Sarah added, her pulse thudding in her ears. If we're going to stand a chance, we need to be united and prepared for anything. Lily glanced between them, brow set with determination. Then let us do it. We can create a plan to expose whoever is behind this. If they think they can intimidate us into giving up, they're wrong. Sarah marveled at the fierce resolve that was taking shape among them. They needed to be ready for whatever was on the horizon. As they began reworking their fundraiser plans, filling out documents and drafting messages for social media, a sudden noise broke their focus. The sound of the bell above the door tinkled lightly. Sarah whipped her head around, heart racing. A figure stepped inside their regular, Mrs. Kaufman, drawing in a fleeting predatory glance. But behind her, shadows hovered near the entrance strangers, their faces concealed in hoods. "Hello, my dears," Mrs. Kaufman called, holding out her hand, oblivious to the tense energy wrapping around the room. "I came to give my support, but I can't help but feel there's more happening here than." Suddenly, Sarah understood. This wasn't just a fight for the shop. It was the fight of their lives. As panic bubbled to the surface, the strangers moved closer, their intentions hard to read. "What do they want?" Sarah whispered, the sinking feeling settling in her gut. And then her phone buzzed again, a steady thrumming that echoed through the chaos. "Let us see how strong you really are." A shiver ran down her spine. This was far from over. What lay ahead was a storm, and with it, the chance that everything they loved could be swept away. Could they uncover the truth before it was too late? The air crackled with tension as Sarah, Jess, and Lily stared at the strangers lingering at the shop entrance. Mrs. Kaufman, their friendly regular, remained blissfully unaware of the storm brewing within. What were these mysterious figures doing here? "Are you okay?" she asked, glancing from Sarah to Jess, her eyes narrowing slightly with concern. "Yeah, just a little overwhelmed. We've hit some bumps," Sarah managed to say, her eyes darting to the hooded figures. "Why don't you come in and chat?" As Mrs. Kaufman stepped closer, Sarah knew the three of them had to stay united. Jess and Lily's expressions mirrored her own, guarded, determined, and ready to face whatever challenge was thrown their way. "Why are you here?" Jess boldly demanded, taking a slight step forward. The tallest figure shifted, the shadow's angle of the shop making it hard to catch any sort of real expression. "Let us just say we've heard whispers about your coffee shop plans and we're interested." "What do you mean interested?" Lily called out, her voice steady but tinged with wariness. The figure laughed, and it sent chills down their spines. "You're a brave girl asking questions. But you'd better make sure you're prepared. Things get nasty when the ambitious collide." "That doesn't sound friendly," Sarah countered, her heart racing. "We're not backing down because of threats. This shop means everything to us. Keep telling yourself that." The figure smiled enigmatically. "You don't know what you're up against. The truth always has a way of coming out. Good luck trying to change the course that's already set." With that, they turned and walked out, leaving an oppressive silence hanging in the air. The weight of their words hanging like smoke. "What was that about?" Sarah whispered, her heart pounding. "We need a plan," Jess replied, her voice filled with resolve. "They want us to cower in fear, and we can't let that happen." "Right. But first we need more intel," Lily piped up, determination glinting in her eyes. "I can talk to my friends. We can find out if anyone else heard anything about these people." "Good idea," Sarah nodded, her heart swelling with pride. "We have a community that cares about this place. They'll rally around us, they always do." Then suddenly her phone buzzed yet again. With trembling fingers, she opened the message from the unknown number. "Time is running out. You'll see soon what you've built can crumble." Fear gripped her, but she pushed it aside. This was their battle now. "Let us meet tomorrow," Sarah spoke, looking at Jess and Lily with newfound determination. "We'll gather as many customers and friends as we can. We'll make them understand how much this shop means not only to us but to the whole community." The next day dawned with both anxiety and excitement. Sarah breathed in deeply, the sun spilling into the shop, bathing it in warmth and light. Over the night, word had spread. Friends, neighbors, and even some regulars arrived, filling the shop with conversation and laughter. "Are we ready?" Lily asked, her eyes sparkling with a mix of nerves and hope. "Yes. Let us do this." Jess's voice rang out clear and strong. They huddled together, the sentimental memories of their coffee shop intertwining with the new plans for their future. Sarah looked around, seeing not just a business but a heart, a hub for love and laughter. As they prepared a speech, Sarah felt the weight of their past struggles and fears lifting. They shared stories of their own experiences, of laughter echoed in the air, of community and spirit. This isn't just a shop. Sarah spoke passionately to the gathering crowd. It's a home. A place where we all belong. People murmured their support, rallying behind them like a wave. Their determination shone brighter than fear, the kind of warmth that couldn't be extinguished. Their message resonated deeply, pushing back against the ominous shadows that threatened to consume them. We believe in community, in strength, in each other, Lily chimed in, her voice strong and confident. Then, as if on cue, the door swung open, revealing a crowd outside. Friends, former customers, and even those who had once doubted their venture. "We're here to help," one of their neighbors exclaimed, and cheers erupted from the crowd. Joy surged through Sarah. They weren't just fighting for a coffee shop. They were building a movement. Then, in that electric atmosphere, a new message came through on Sarah's phone. The same number again. "You're only stoking the fire. The truth is still coming." But this time panic didn't take her. Instead, she felt a flame igniting within, fueled by the support surrounding her. No longer would fear define them. "Together we'll face whatever lies ahead," Sarah vowed, her voice strong and unwavering. As the community gathered tighter, hands clasped, hearts opened, Sarah knew they were ready to face the unknown, to face the truth, and to hold on to the warmth of love and hope that tied them together. The battle wasn't over, but now they stood united, stronger than ever before. Whatever storms lay ahead, they could face them as a family. Emboldened, Sarah stepped forward. "Let us show them what we stand for." The cheers erupted once more, echoing into the brightening sky, a declaration that they would not just survive but thrive. Now it's your turn. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire and uplift you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, because every like counts. Comment below and share your reactions and feelings about this ending. What resonates with you? We want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Show your support for the channel, because only true fans understand the importance of these actions.